Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're an anime lover who enjoys watching main characters effortlessly crush their enemies, you've come to the right place. Today, we're diving into a list of the latest and greatest anime featuring OP characters who dominate every battle. From powerful heroes who face unbeatable odds to mysterious figures hiding unimaginable strength, we've got it all covered. So, grab some snacks, get comfy, and let's explore the top 10 new anime with an overpowered main character that you absolutely need to check out. Let's jump right in. The strongest tanks Labyrinth raids. Rudd is a tank for the hero's party with the highest defense ever recorded. The party frequently conducts Labyrinth raids, but for Rudd, it is more than just a raid. To cure his beloved sister's illness, he seeks the wish-granting treasure that may be found within those labyrinths. But one day, the pompous hero kicks him out of the party following an unsuccessful raid attempt, blaming it on his skills, the repercussions of which he is still oblivious of. With nowhere else to go and nothing to do, he decides to return to his hometown, where his sister awaits. On his way there, he saves a girl from an attack by a monster. Unexpectedly, this girl possesses an extraordinarily rare skill known as appraisal. Rudd is able to discover the truth behind his unknown abilities, which turn out to be extremely powerful. With a defense of 99/99 and amazing skills, Rudd, the strongest tank, begins his adventure. Wistoria, Wand and Sword. When humanity was subjugated by mysterious foes, 5 outstanding mages known as the Heavenly Invaders banded together to combat them. Fearing that these fearsome enemies would return, the 5 most powerful magicians, known as the Magivander, constructed a magical dome and tower to trap them. Since then, the 5 strongest mages of each generation have been tasked with watching the dome from the top of the wizard's tower. Inspired by this story, childhood friends Will Sefort and Ophelia Albus Surfort swore to climb to the top of the wizard's tower. Will, now a 6th-year student at Regardin Magic Academy, appears to have a grim future ahead. Although Ophelia was able to attend the Magivander 5 years ago, due to her amazing magical talent, Will lacks any magical abilities, which irritates both teachers and pupils. However, thanks to his extraordinary physique, Will is able to battle monsters in the maze and defeat expert magicians with only his sword and a few magical objects. Will is determined to ascend the wizard's tower at any cost, and he will not let anybody or anything stop him from fulfilling his vow to Ophelia. Remonster. Tomokui Kaneda has been reincarnated as the weakest goblin, Gabaru, following his sad demise. However, Gabaru has kept his prior life's memories, indicating an uncommon evolution, as well as being powerful enough to earn status boosts from feeding. In this other universe of survival of the fittest, events unfold with competent subordinates and comrades, a beautiful example of the tail-wagging dog. I Parry Everything. The Kingdom of Clays is in a desperate situation. An assassination attempt has recently been attempted on its own Princess Linneberg, and neighboring countries are plotting the kingdom's demise. The coming fight will define the continent's face for decades to come, but Noor is unaware of this. He has just arrived in the royal capital after more than a decade of intense, secluded training at his mountain home, and he is determined to fulfill his childhood ambition of becoming an adventurer, even if the only abilities he possesses are useless. Sure, he can parry thousands of swords in a single breath, but everyone knows that being an explorer requires more than that. Our hero's journey to realize his dream will be long and difficult, but if there's one thing Noor isn't frightened of, it's plain old-fashioned hard work. Solo leveling. A decade ago, the first gates, portals linked to other realms that host creatures immune to conventional weaponry, emerged around the Earth, putting humanity on the verge of extinction. Along with the appearance of the gates, many humans were converted into hunters and given superhuman skills. Many hunters, who are responsible for entering the gates and clearing the dungeons within, formed guilds to guarantee their livelihoods. Some Jinwoo is an E-rank hunter, who is known as the weakest hunter in all of mankind. While exploring a purportedly secure dungeon, Harry and his group come across an unexpected tunnel that leads to a deeper level. Enticed by the potential of treasure, the group continues on, only to be met with horrors beyond their conception. Miraculously, Jinwoo survives the catastrophe and soon discovers that he now has access to an interface visible only to himself. This secret technology promises him the power he has long desired, but everything comes with a price. The wrong way to use healing magic. Ken Usato, a regular high school student, wants for something extraordinary to happen in his unremarkable existence. Such an opportunity arises when he is taken to another universe with Kazuki Ryuzen and Suzun Indikami, two outstanding members of his school's student council. When they arrive in Linger Kingdom, the three are entrusted with preventing the Demon Lord's army from invading. However, there is a misunderstanding. Usato was summoned by accident, and unlike his two buddies, is not one of the heroes. Despite this sad realization, Usato discovers that he possesses a knack for the highly uncommon healing magic. This draws the notice of Rose, the imposing captain of the kingdom's rescue team, who kidnaps Usato and forces him to become a full-fledged healer. As he goes through tough training under Rose's supervision, Usato decides to become strong enough to protect his friends from the horrors of the world. The Unwanted Undead Adventurer. Rentfena, an adventurer with a lot of experience but little to show for it, gets killed by a dragon while exploring a labyrinth after uncovering its lair. Surprisingly, he awakens to discover himself transformed into a skeleton, the lowest level of undead beings. As Rent fights the other monsters in the maze, he realizes that killing them earns him experience towards higher levels of zombie evolution, even those with flesh. With this discovery in hand, Rent sets a new goal for his Undead: to continue evolving in the hopes of one day becoming a vampire, the highest type of undead that is practically indistinguishable from humans. Despite being forced to hide his true identity and hideous nature behind an unremovable mask, Rent tries to reclaim some of his previous existence. Rent is given sanctuary by Lorraine Vivier, an elite researcher and retired adventurer, and takes on her surname, starting again as a rookie. Rent is determined to fulfill his childhood dream of becoming a mithril-class adventurer, but he must be careful not to reveal his new physical circumstances, should the Adventurers Guild want to eliminate the monster he has become. The Ossan Newbie Adventurer. Determined to fulfill his beautiful childhood aspirations, 30-year-old Rick Gladievel, a lowly clerk in the Adventurers Guild, is given a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity when he meets the dark elf Renet Elfeld. Renet is an exceptional adventurer of the famed group Orichalcum Fist, and its members welcome Rick on the condition that he undergo Spartan training. 2 years later, Rick is finally prepared to take the E-rank exam, which would formally certify him as an adventurer. However, raw magical power can only be developed up to the age of 20. As a result, Rick encounters widespread animosity from both fellow participants and examiners, leaving him with no alternative but to demonstrate to the world that his rigorous training has transformed him into an indestructible warrior. Failure Frame. When loner Tukamimori is summoned to another realm with his classmates, he has the ability to inflict status diseases on his opponents, such as paralysis or poison. Unfortunately for him, skills of this sort are seen as useless due to their poor success rate, and Tuka is consequently given the moniker of E-rank hero. Things take a turn for the worse when Vicious, the goddess who summoned the class, explains that the lowest rank hero will be eliminated so that they do not hinder those with higher potential. Banished to a famously deadly place, Tuka faces death after being cornered by a minotaur-like beast. In a desperate bid to survive, he employs his seemingly useless skill, only to discover that it works almost every time. Tuka, armed with the ability to render the monsters in his path entirely impotent, determines to seek down the goddess who cast him aside and exact his revenge. Kaiju No. 8. Following the devastation of their homeland, childhood friends Kafka Hibino and Minatashiro form a pact to become officers in the Defense Force, a militarized group entrusted with safeguarding Japan from giant monsters known as Kaiju. Decades later, the 32-year-old Kafka has all but abandoned his heroic ambitions. Instead, he cleans up the remains of the slaughtered Kaiju after they are beaten by brave troops, including Mina, who has fulfilled their common aim. When Kafka meets his new co-worker, Rino Ichikawa, he sees a reflection of his former self, an ambitious young man whose sole aim is to fight as a member of the Defense Force. Unfortunately, the two are quickly entangled in an unusual encounter with a rogue Kaiju. Though Kafka exhibits his intrinsic heroic character by rescuing Rino from probable death, he is severely damaged. While both men are recovering in a hospital, Kafa appears to have been attacked by another beast. As a result, he obtains the ability to transform into a humanoid kaiju, possessing the strength and might of the gigantic monsters that threaten Japan. Kafa, nicknamed Kaiju No, ate by the military, vows to use his newfound abilities for the greater good. Kafa and Reno, united by mutual respect, set out to join soldiers such as Mina at the vanguard of the defense force. So these were the top 10 new anime with an overpowered main character. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so that you don't miss any videos like this in the future. Keep sharing your thoughts with us down in the comments. I'll see you the next one.